community members and leaders have gathered here at Rainbow Push Coalition to pay their respects to the late Reverend Jesse Jackson. I'm here outside of the Supreme Court where the justices are hearing oral arguments today in a case involving conversion therapy for minors. And as you can see behind me, protesters have been gathered here since this morning. But after an ownership transfer last week, multiple employees have been left without jobs and without answers. So the district installed this pathway in order to help students cross the road without slipping and still remaining safe on their way to school. Governor Tony Evers was here in Stevens Point earlier today at Belt's Soft Serve, and he gave us the scoop on his decision to not run for a third term. Right next to me is a communion table. It's a mile and a half long, and people from all 50 states are gathered right here at the National Mall in D.C. for 4 days of nonstop prayer. A federal investigation for alleged racial discrimination is happening right here in Evanston. Here's one more of the Bonnie and Clyde traditions. You can either ride on the sheep, which I've got right here, or the bull. As you can see behind me, there's vegetables, there's frozen foods, there's things like pastries and cupcakes, and now places like these will have an extra $10 million. These giant cookies are going even bigger. They're now being sold all the way in Green Bay. And the community closet even has a fitting room, so you can try on outfits like this gorgeous purple dress for yourself. Every day, Kathy Zern wakes up, walks outside, and catches the bus to get to work. Yeah.
The bus is my car keys to independence, like your car keys are for your independence. If I don't have the bus, I don't have that independence.
Zern is legally blind. She's part of the 31% of Wisconsinites who are non-drivers.
The average person just opens their garage door, backs up their car, and goes. I rely on the bus and wait for the bus to go to what I want to be involved in. And it limits my access to what I can be involved in.
Metro Ride buses travel the city of Wausau from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. on weekdays. Riders like Zern can only get to where the bus goes. She had to fight to get her work and the senior center on the map. And without a state transit authority or agreements with surrounding communities, the buses can't cross municipal boundaries.
Nothing leaves the city limits, and we're restricted to that unless the other cities would ask us to come.
For years, bus riders have been fighting to expand routes.
Red Mountain is not accessible, and we used to go to Kmart and Shopko and all of them, and they all closed down, and you know, it's Red Mountain where we want to go.
But riders say an agreement is nowhere in sight, leaving a big gap in access to shopping and jobs.
It just takes forever for anything to get changed.
Even with slow progress, Zern hopes others will join in on the local and national fight for public transportation.
People need to advocate. They need to go to joint finance hearings, write letters, go to city, county board meetings, municipal meetings, and make their voice heard.
Reporting in Wausau, Alison Miller, Newswatch 12. Here at Pinecrest Nursing Home, residents are preparing for a day of fun at the Lincoln County Fair. But after an ownership transfer last week, multiple employees have been left without jobs and without answers. It's raised questions in the community on if there will be enough staff to take care of the people who depend on them most. Tim Taggart was called into the office of Pinecrest Health and Memory Care Executive Director Ryan Hansen last Tuesday.
Ryan said, we're just going to tear the Band-Aid off quick. We want you to work Wednesday and Thursday. We'll pay you for Friday, but we will not be continuing you on.
It was a whirlwind of a week for Taggart. In just 4 days, he went from a member of the Pinecrest maintenance team in Merrill to searching for a new job.
Kind of just took the wind out of my sails, and I actually feel really bad because I've made a lot of friendships with residents.
Taggart isn't the only one. This former employee spoke to us anonymously.
I was heartbroken. I actually cried when they told me that I was no longer employed by them. I missed the residents, and I enjoyed making their day a little bit brighter and spending time with them.
On August 1st, a 3-year process to make the formerly county-owned nursing home private officially ended. When Pinecrest changed hands from North Central Healthcare to the Ensign Group, Ensign chose to not extend employment offers to 15 of some of the longest-working staff members. Others were cut from maintenance. Elizabeth McCrank represents Merrill on the county board.
Some of them have spoken with me. They are expressing that they are stunned because they were led to believe that they would be kept.
Some employees say they've felt forced into signing severance packages. Others have told us that all hospitality staff and some dietary aides have been fired, leaving much more work for the nurses and CNAs.
They were always, running short, and they closed down a few halls. With how everything took place like this, I didn't know how they could function properly.
The resident to CNA ratio has jumped from 9-to-1 to about 12-to-1 after the firings, and that's created problems for residents too.
They're not able to access staff as readily as they were before, and that means they don't get simple services like being assisted to use the restroom as rapidly as they did before. They have, at least for now, they have lost access to the dining hall in the evenings.
Those changes have also been confirmed by other employees.
I'm worried that it's going to have a negative impact on them declining or, more fall risks.
For many former employees, losing connections with residents is what hurts most. Taggart used to perform as Elvis for residents like Marge.
And my mom had passed away, and I went in like 3 days later, and I was talking to Marge, and I explained everything, and out of the blue, before I even said any of that, she said, "I need a hug." And I'm like, wow. So I explained how that happened, and she said, you can hug me from now on.
In a statement, Executive Director Ryan Hansen said they are, quote, currently assessing the resources available to assist us in achieving our goal of providing quality health care and rehabilitation to those requiring such services. He declined to answer questions on staffing. Reporting in Merrill, Alison Miller, Newswatch 12. That's not the sound of a rock or a paperweight. These are the biggest cookies in Rhinelander, or at least that's what Butcher Shop Bake Company founder Dustin Chronister says.
We are so thankful for our cookie monsters and the support that they give us.
And now these giant cookies are going even bigger. They're now being sold all the way in Green Bay, and employees say it's a pretty sweet deal.
We're just starting, but it's been very cool. I've already seen people post on Facebook or Instagram that they're getting our cookies at the Festival of Foods.
After 23 months, thousands of dollars, and countless emails, 2 flavors can now be found at 3 Festival Foods grocery stores in the Green Bay area.
Very rewarding. It's been a goal of mine since I started that Butcher Shop Bake Company is going to be a household name.
And they hope that this next step could whip up even more sugary success.
Maybe the one that we have now, Festival Foods, will eventually branch out to even more grocery stores wanting to sell our products, and then the more grocery stores we have, hopefully that'll boost up our numbers.
Sweet, sweet victory. Reporting in Rhinelander, Alison Miller, Newswatch 12. A federal investigation for alleged racial discrimination is happening right here in Evanston. Here's what you need to know. Evanston-Skokie District 65 is the latest school district under fire amid the Trump administration's crackdown on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs in schools. The U.S. Department of Education launched a Title VI investigation into D65 on Thursday. It all started with a complaint filed by a drama teacher accusing the district of segregating based on race by sponsoring affinity groups, holding seminars for staff to increase, quote, racial literacy, and asking all elementary teachers to read a book to students that allegedly compares whiteness to signing a deal with the devil, among other things. The teacher also filed a similar lawsuit against the district during Trump's first term, which sparked a large protest in Evanston's James Park in 2021. But a judge dismissed that complaint. Violating Title VI could cause a huge loss of federal funding for the district. About $10.5 million of this year's D65 budget come from federal grants, 9% of the total budget. The money goes toward early childhood education, programs for low-income students, and special education services. So how did the district respond? In a statement to the Evanston Roundtable, district spokesperson Hannah Dillow said the complaint, quote, misrepresents our district's lawful and important professional learning and student-focused initiatives. The district promises to fully comply with the investigation to help ensure a just and expeditious resolution. NNN will continue to follow this story as it develops.
It's not about converting people to what we want. It's giving them the freedom to be who God made them to be.
I'm here outside of the Supreme Court where the justices are hearing oral arguments today in a case involving conversion therapy for minors. And as you can see behind me, protesters have been gathered here since this morning.
This is probably one of the most important cases that we've seen.
That case is Childs v. Salazar. Therapist Kaylee Childs is challenging Colorado's minor conversion therapy law, which bans state-licensed mental health professionals from providing conversion therapy to minors.
There is irreparable harm happening right now because there are clients who are seeking my services who have forbidden goals according to the state of Colorado.
Over 20 states ban conversion therapy for minors. Childs is arguing that these laws violate her free speech and free exercise rights.
And we shouldn't be afraid of ideas. And we shouldn't kill people over ideas.
But LGBTQ advocates and some scientists argue that these ideas about conversion therapy can kill. A 2020 UCLA study showed that people who experience conversion therapy were almost twice as likely to attempt suicide.
People that experience conversion therapy are overwhelmingly harmed by it. I'm a survivor and I still have things that I'm dealing with from it.
Protesters on Colorado's side say the ban is a necessary regulation on professional conduct.
Part of our ethical code being to not do any harm or bring our own personal bias in the room.
They worry that a ruling for free speech could be dangerous.
It could have a rippling effect on other state laws that are similar and put many individuals at grave risk.
The Supreme Court's official ruling won't be released until summer 2026. Reporting in Washington, D.C., I'm Alison Miller, Medill News Service. I'm here at No Kings in D.C., and let's see how far people are willing to travel for today's protest.
I drove all this way because we have to get rid of this president. I'm from Berkeley, California. We can never, ever, ever give up.
It makes me angry that they are demonizing the immigrants that do come here. I'm from San Antonio, Texas. You know, they just want a better life. And I understand that. And so that's what made me want to do something about it.
So I am from the DMV. I'm 45 minutes, Waldorf, Maryland. The person who is in the White House is trampling on the Constitution. He is trampling on our rights.
I drove up from Rising Fawn, Georgia. Everything is bad news, bad news, bad news, and nothing is happening. And now the final defense is the people.
I'm from Delaware. We having same thing over there, but it's just we decided to come here just for the magnitude of it and to be in the center right in front of it.
I'm here from Brooklyn, New York. I'm here for these mass mobilizations. I know some might say that this is too liberal or not radical enough, but I think building big tents like this is how we build our base to win.
From Las Vegas, Nevada. I've been traveling to cities where either the Guard is deployed or cities where ICE is very active.
I live in Manassas, Virginia. A lot of people right now are feeling pretty helpless with what's going on. And so I think we need to do everything we can do.